Welcome everybody to another episode of the Compassionate Citizens podcast, which is on the World of Ability Podcast Network. This show was inspired by Norland Dennis out of Chicago, who has the Compassionate Citizens organization down in Chicago. So I've been doing this for a couple of years now. But anyway, special thanks to Marcus Art of Transforming Media, Jay and the Disability Channel, Zach Clayton and the Pack Channel, and Lawrence Wingate of Wingate Studios for replaying this show on their platforms. I have our recurring, that's not the right word. My other co-host here with me today, who's been on before, Jennifer A. Whitaker, who is the host of the Jaws Coffee Chat. So, while you're sitting here, may sort of if you introduce yourself and say anything you'd like to, anything about Jaws Coffee Chat, anything you'd like to say today.
Jaws Coffee Chat is having a couple of special shows. We're having some promos on that are special episodes. They're going to take 30 minutes, starting the last Wednesday of May, and it'll go on for a few weeks in honors of and on behalf of Down for Smiles. That is a group supporting Down syndrome and trying to raise funds to help support their cause. We are also having every other Friday that started on May 12th. There'll be 10 episodes every Friday, so May 12th and May 26th, and carrying on from there every other Friday, what we call Afro International Show. This is a special show on behalf of the Afro International Film and Festival, based out of Africa, but it happened in October 2023 in person and on Zoom, depending on how you can attend. It's going to be for those of us in some kind of film-related line of work, from script writers to graphic designers to cartoon artists, actors, models, actresses, and everybody else that's somehow related and involved in the production of film and movies, whether they go to movie theaters or they go to places like Netflix directly. That would be a place for you if you are somehow linked to it, even if you are a film production company. And here would be a great place for you to find script writers or actors and actresses and so more. So whatever side of the deal you're on, we need you and we invite you. Until then, you can hear exciting information related to it every other Friday on Jaws Podcast by going on your favorite app to look up Jaws, JAWS, Coffee Chat, and subscribing channel. Then stay tuned for every other Friday for the Afro International show, and every Wednesday starting on May 31st for 3 or 4 weeks for the Down for Smiles, for a nonprofit supporting those with Down syndrome. Back to you, Emily.
A little more about the Afro Film Festival. The founder of it is Chief Jasper Johnson, who is in Nigeria, Africa. We are going to have 1,000 people be in attendance in Atlanta, Georgia, October 12th through the 14th, as well as 1,000 people connecting through online. There's also going to be like 700 films with this as well. So I encourage everybody to join us. The website for everybody is one film, the number one film, number one marketsummit.org. So that's the number one film, number one marketsummit.org. Is the website for anybody who is interested in checking that out and learning any more. As far as the so if you're in the Atlanta area or interested, to please connect with us. The Down for Smiles event is June 17th, which is put on by Philip with Isabel Grace Photography. And they're going to be having fun events and picture taking, and among other things. I was connected with syndrome, and there's also another event that we are helping with, 28th, Joshua Stage, which is a nonprofit also in Texas, the Down for Smiles organization and event is in Texas too. But the Joshua Stage is also in Texas, and they're having a open house on May 28th from 2 to 4 Central, or not 2 to 4, 2 to 6 Central, p.m. Central. And they kind of have enrichment programs on for anybody with people with disabilities, through like theater and other things.
There's horse racing too.
That's part of the Down for Smiles event. It's called the
Which
Racers.
one is this one that you're talking about now?
This is with Joshua Stage on May 28th, Sunday, May 28th.
Okay, what is the May 28th event called?
I'm not sure it really has a name. It's just an open house that's put on by Joshua Stage. They're just having an open house from 2 to 6. So if anybody is interested in any of those events or helping out in any way, to please contact us. Now we also have quite a few other shows besides Compassionate Citizen. Jen, you want to say anything about the Jaws Coffee Chat and the several shows you do with that?
Yes, and thank you, Emily. Welcome, everybody. At Jaws Coffee Chat Podcast, which is JAWS Coffee Chat Podcast, that you can find on your favorite podcast app. We have shows ranging from the Christ Talk special that's every Monday, 4 p.m. Central, and it rotates which guest speaker based on which week of the month it is. Certain guest speakers first month every month, comes second Monday every month, and so forth for the Jaws Price Talk. We also have the Jaws Price Talk special that has a person with a background in ministry and theology basically go through an interview to explain the unrelated to the Christian faith. It's a lot of this stuff that's even debatable, and he gives a more defining answer in accordance to the Bible for spiritual growth as well as awareness and understanding. We also have the talk awareness, where we have different people, including myself as the host, Jennifer A. Whitaker, and different guests each month from 2:30 to 3:30 Central. Do that one, we alternate from the mental health awareness time to do with different things related to mental health, to the things that can be mistaken as mental health that are actually other areas of health. Like in the last one, I gave an example of sleeping 16 hours a night, and that it was actually allergies. It was not even depression or anything else that was related to mental health, as many of us believe, especially if we have mental health problems. So it ranges, whether we're talking on stuff like that, that's where mental health can be a mistake, or something that's not related to mental health, to different things related to coping with and making it through survival, the understanding of, and so forth, different aspects of mental health, and for those of us that struggle with it, as well as for awareness for those who don't have it to understand us. We have Amy Barley, who is an author and client of ours. She's a public speaker. She speaks at different conferences with 500 to 1,000 people at a time live at her event. However, she's one of our regular speakers on the last Friday of every month on the Amy Barley Live Show. We also have a local to the Houston area comedian, an entertainer named Bowler, on the Every Other Friday Follow Your Dreams podcast show. We have a lot of other podcasts in the making, underway with new ideas, new people we meet. I was even talking 30 minutes to 45 minutes ago with our web designer, John, who is going to reach out to a financial advisor that we all know. Emily knows him, so do I. And we're talking about having a special runs. There'll be a new show once a month called Financial Freedom. That's going to be led by John, who also leads the Christ Talk special and the Christ Talk, Jaws Christ Talk. But he will be interviewing another guy that's outside of Christianity, is into the whole inspiration people who are disabled, on disability, on this side, struggling, even they can gain financial freedom. And this is within reach of many of us. Um, we just don't know it until we know um, guys as great and as wonderful and understanding as Bill Walter. And that's what it is. It's the Bill Walter, your financial guy, who will be the star of the uh, financial freedom show. And we may have others come, but if you want to check them out, you can always go to jensbooksandmore.com and go to the top menu where it says podcast to find all of our shows and the latest episodes, or even at least both of the latest ones uploaded to our website. That's JENNS booksandmore.com. Back to you, Emily.
Jen, do you want
Do I
to
even?
Jen, do you want to give out your Calendly link for anybody who's looking to, who has any questions and wants to schedule something with you? You're on mute.
If anybody's interested in anything related to teaching, from script writing, acting, modeling, just all kinds of things related to that, or if you maybe are a publisher looking for highly skilled authors to publish books, even if you are a business that maybe wants to get publicity on the Jaws Coffee Chat podcast, all these are various reasons to inquire and try to get on my schedule by going to calendly.com/JENS booksandmore.com. If you'd like to schedule to be on our podcast, you can go to calendly.com/Jaws Coffee Chat. That's calendly.com/JAWS Coffee Chat. So the Jaws Coffee Chat is on a podcast, and the Jen's Books and More, JENNS Books and More, Calendly is how to meet with me and the rest of the team and see what we can do. Because the world better when you bring us all together and we are all happier.
So, Jen, did you have any start reading? Anything of compassion that came up this week that you'd like to talk about? I know if you've had a couple things before that you've talked about, but is there anything in this past few weeks that you'd like to talk about at all?
I definitely know that there are some people whose names I will not say I have highly connected with, because we found that different struggles that we thought we had alone, we actually both go through. Not giving away a name, but I will say that this person is the one that was there for me when I got depressed and talked me out of suicide. And sometimes that's the deepest root of need for compassion, is someone to say they care about you once yourself. Even though I also think compassion, suicide is also the most selfish thing we can do, and the farthest absence from compassion, at least for ourselves and whatever life's throwing at us. Um, I can also say that this person went through their own cycle of a low mood, and I ended up being the one there for him through texting. And this I have found since being on citizens, I personally think even in the body of Christ, like in my local church and so forth, where there is just simply an incompassion, brothers, because of a bad season related to a job, a bad season related to economy, or a bad season related to health, possibly the loss of a loved one. But these are just so many areas, so many causes of compassion, even if it's not just the everyday abundance of the whole world needs it, but where each of us as individuals at certain moments we are just in more dire need of a typical moment in life, our typical everyday. And apparently I've been exposed to a lot more of those kind of people that are in those bad seasons. But it's very interesting because it's also that I've been trying harder to be compassionate myself and at the same time to stand firm in what's right. But I've also seen different great excitement happening that I can focus on that's as a result of compassion from different people I'm with. While also seeing that this year has been a hard year for me because here we go, what's only 6 days away, and I'm about to be in the month of May, the second surgery I'm having right now in the first half of 2023. My second surgery, my second time to be out of work, the second time to not be able to do a lot of my hobbies like going to the gym to work out, and not able to do much walking, so I can't go very many places, but I can just basically go somewhere where I'll just sit down, and who knows even what I will do since I can't work. I'll be out of work, so I want to be able to get on my computer and talk on air and stuff like this. But hey, I'm seeing blessings. I'm seeing great things happen because I have seen people. Some have been compassionate the whole year. Some have just started to key in on this is a bad season. But the key is that there is compassion. I found that I am more compassionate toward more people when I'm able to see that we have some kind of understanding of some kind of struggle. Whether that struggle is actually agitated at the moment, we actually are in that hard season, or it's when we're all in good seasons and we are in a casual conversation to realize that we do in our bad seasons have same struggles because of different conditions or situations, like ones I found that are also in process of losing a parent like myself. And even there's sometimes I see in the fact that I'm losing my dad that I have to be compassionate with him because I don't want to be enraged and anger with a man right before he dies, and then to be hard and lack compassion on myself because years to come, I regret different things that I could have done in these final moments of his. And I think a lot of people need to realize that whatever that relative did or did not do, that's why you have, say, mixed emotions as opposed to just hatred or rage. That when they're dying, you want to leave it at peace. That means also, as the recipient and not the one on the deathbed, need to also be at peace that that person is going and be at peace with the person. Or you'll probably end up, I just about guarantee, in some kind of anger or rage against yourself that you did not do whatever kind of regrets at that moment, so many years later, looking back. And I know family members, I know friends, I know people who have done that, and they wonder why in the world, what was I thinking at the moment when I could have healed this troubled situation, emotion, lack of understanding, or anything else with this somebody, and I wasted it as a time to show them what they deserved, or what I thought at least out of that anger or rage. And personally, I want my dad to lead with compassion. I can change him, but I can change whether I show him compassion or not. I can teach my sisters can teach me, and we can together, the three of us, show compassion towards our dad, even though we could tell you plenty of ways he messed up. There were also plenty of ways he did things right, even though we as kids didn't like it. We look back, like I went to college. My dad insisted I had no choice but to go to college. At least that's what he put across. And I wouldn't be sitting here doing a job I love if I didn't get the education that he pushed that I had to pursue. And my sisters similarly would not be in the jobs they love if they hadn't had the pressure from him to go to college. But the key is nobody's perfect. And sometimes to understand the times that people are what we sometimes think is their worst, but may not really be as bad as somebody else's worst. It's a time when we need more compassion and to know they are not perfect and there's a certain thing we don't like about them. Or maybe more than one thing we don't like about them. But usually it's somebody with a good heart, with care and trying to do something right, but they're just not perfect. And at least I tell you, in accordance to the Bible as a Christian myself, nobody is perfect but God Himself. So it's just being human to have something going on that we don't like about somebody, even though we may love him or her, whether it's as a family, a brother or sister in our church, or however else we know them at work. I don't know. However you know them, maybe even a daughter or a brother you see. But no one is perfect. And we need to understand them, the compassion, especially when dealing with the things we don't like about them and accepting that they will never be perfect any more than we ever will be, which at least according to scripture in the Christian faith is not until we reach heaven, which is basically after judgment that we reach upon death. So that would be in our lifetime as humans. What do you have to share, Emily?
Just sort of as you're also alluding to, like, compassion is a very important topic. That shouldn't be really taken lightly. You agree with that? You're on mute.
Talking to myself again. I said I do agree, but I notice I emphasize this when people last moment, and where sometimes that's when we tend to make the mistake to show them what they deserve because maybe they weren't good to us in our life, versus giving them a happy day and allowing ourselves to be at peace when that's like goes. And that is something that can give ourselves an eternity of unhappiness and grudge, regret, and so much more. But that being compassionate with somebody who's dying, we are in a way also being compassionate that we don't want to be at odds and pass and to live in a lack of peace and compassion for ourselves by not forgiving ourselves for wasting those last few moments with that person and having regrets and so forth that we ourselves suffer of after the person is gone and they're no longer suffering. So there's two side folds to that, and why at the time we should be compassionate, and in the end, it's something that benefits us ourselves and not just the other person. but more specifically, us in the long term, them in the short term.
Right. Yeah, I know that depending on the situation and whatever, that's at times hard to be compassionate, but God, it's something we should try to strive to anyway. Like self-compassion and then compassion for others as well.
And that's exactly where I was going, because the person dying is self-compassion because you don't want to live in regret by messing up in the last few moments you have with them. But then also showing compassion while they're going is, even if they were appearing to somebody that did you wrong, you're giving them something positive out of the compassion for them, at least when they're in their final moments. So at least they leave on a bad note. I mean, they may have had a poor life as far as the quality or the way they treated people, but they can leave in peace. And I found when my aunt died in January of this year, 2023, that the final moment that she let go and stopped breathing was after she read a text I wrote that basically gave her peace that it was okay to go and say goodbye, to let go and let God. And so that means we need peace to actually pass away. And until we have that peace, we will still want to suffer. As many are there when they get stuff like that. Alzheimer's, dementia. They can't enjoy life anymore. They only know who they are. They don't know what their interests are. Many times they only know what who their kids are, and all these other people that we think they will always know and think certain things they'll always enjoy, and they don't. So until they are at peace, they can't actually say they take their last breath and say goodbye into a happy place of heaven. Until they're at peace. So we can try to bring them peace. But that all goes back to compassion. It's compassion for ourselves, it's compassion for that loved one that gives the final moment and the okay, let go. Because I'm at least in the afterlife, not necessarily in your worldly life as a human. But then again, it goes back to compassion.
Let me see. Right. Yeah, it's always.
Have you had any moments lately where you've discovered compassion? Like what you're asking me, what would be your answer?
I think so. Just the and I was looking to to be like frustrated or anything like that at somebody, just to kind of realize like the other person is human too, and that everybody goes through like similar things and that kind of thing.
That makes me think of the song. For liability reasons, I'm not going to sing it, but I will tell you, it's called Only Human. And it says something along the lines of, I break down because I'm only human. And it goes on to explain how, at least whoever wrote it, or whoever wrote it about, the writer may not have written about themselves, may have written about somebody else than you. But this person was constantly struggling to meet different expectations. And their chorus kept saying, but I'm only human. Or in other words, I'm perfect. I can't do everything. I'm going to mess up. I'm going to fall. I'm going to fail sometimes. I can try, but I'll still not be able to do it all and do perfect and without some errors, some kind of failures, and kind of something bad along the way because we are not perfect. And as it says, I'm only human.
Right. But yeah, everybody's going to make mistakes.
Well, and we also, then again, another area of compassion is, especially for those of us that struggle at different points in our career, or even at the beginning of this, of finding out what we want to do with our lives. We struggle, and struggling has to do with both success and failures. And we have to have compassion on ourselves to know we are in that certain stage. Failures are a part of the process. So we have to forgive ourselves, compassion for ourselves for the failures, but learn from them to try to find the pieces we need to put together to know where and how we'll succeed. And once we've assembled that, use that plan or those skills or those kinds of responsibilities to get into that kind of work. But that can even be in different medical treatments. You experimenting with the drugs that we work with and don't work with, and find out what families work best with our chemistry. So, what families of medicine do we need to ask our doctors for to tell them that I have such and such struggle, but I work best with medicines that are in this certain chemical family or other things. But still, whatever is the battle in life outside of work can be, like I said, health. But it is, we have to see and learn from our failures because we're going to fail in some ways before we'll be successful. To be successful, we have to see uh, different pieces of failures of what was right and what was wrong. Where were we good at it? Where did we mess up on it? And assemble all the goods to make the ideal, and then aim for the ideal, and have a lot more success, even though we'll still have mess ups, still have fallbacks, 2 steps forward, 1 step back kind of thing, and the overall we're still moving forward. If we focus on the successful part.
All right. Let me see. I agree. I might be getting sort of close to our finding here.
All right, how about announcing our schedule? Our schedule for that's every 3 weeks. Remember all that? That's for this show going forward for the summer season of 23.
So, so we have a number of different shows outside of this one. We have Joe's Coffee Chat, and then shows, and then we have The World of Ability, The World of Women, Ability MK Now, Virtues in a Few Hours, among a few others. So if anybody is interested in coming on either the show or one of the others as a guest or helping out with the show in any other capacity that you'd like to help out with, to please connect with us.
Having days and times, which ones are which day of the week, what times? Because people may see this show at a later date, and that would confuse them of when or what shows.
So the Compassionate Citizen show has been every few Wednesdays at 3 o'clock p.m. Central, 4 o'clock Eastern. Then we have the Ability MK Now radio show. That's every.
Oh, wait a minute. Compassionate Citizens is every 3 Wednesdays for summer 2023.
Yeah, I said it's been every few Wednesdays. But it shall continue for the next while. Then we have the Ability MK Now radio show, which is every Wednesday at 7:30 p.m. Central, 8:30 p.m. Eastern, with William Pino with the River West Radio. Then we have the World of Ability show on Saturdays, every Saturday at 2 o'clock p.m. Central, 3 o'clock Eastern. Have the TDC Today show the hour before that at 1 p.m. Central, 2 o'clock Eastern. Then we have the Blue Coat show on Sundays at 4 o'clock Central, 5 Eastern p.m., as well as 6 p.m. Central, 7 o'clock Eastern. On Tuesdays, we have the World of Ability, or not World of Ability, World of Women with Zeta at 7 o'clock p.m., 8 o'clock Eastern. And then on Mondays at 6:30 p.m. Central, 7:30 Eastern, we have the Monday Mission with Project Die Hard, all about veterans. And then earlier in the day on Mondays, we have the Jazz Mental Health Awareness at 2:30 p.m. Central, 3:30 Eastern. And then right after that, at 4 o'clock Central, 5 Eastern, we have the Jazz Christ Talk with John Tarr hosting that one, with his different guests on different regular scheduled on different weeks. And then as we were, I think Jen had mentioned before, every other Friday, we have the Jazz Follow Your Dreams with Sandy Bowler. And then the last Friday of the month, we have Amy Varley at noon Central, 1 Eastern. The Follow Your Dreams is at 3 p.m. Central, 4 Eastern. Then we have Back with John Tarr on Thursday evenings at 7 p.m. Central, 8 Eastern. The Jaws Christ Talk special. So, if anybody, as I was saying before, if anybody is interested in any of being a guest or helping out in some way, to please contact us either at podcastengineer54@gmail.com, ability mkenow@gmail.com, 262-372-1754, or for the Jaws Coffee Chat shows, jawscoffeechat@gmail.com. And so all of those, with the exception of, I believe, one, are weekly shows. The one is a monthly show. Oh, I'm missing one. We have a couple of monthly shows. We also have the World of Nutrition on the second Friday of the month at 6 o'clock p.m. Central, 7 o'clock Eastern. And so everybody can connect with us who are interested. Again, thanks to Marcus, Jay, Lauren, Zach for all their good work in replaying our shows. Jen, do you have any last words for our viewers, listeners?
Yes, thank you. To everybody who is listening or watching, whenever you see this, carry on the mission and in your own ways to integrate showing compassion to other people, and that including to show it to yourself, and not just other people in the way you work, but other people in aspect of life, including yourself. And that means having downtime, giving yourself breaks, forgiving yourself where you mess up, and not to hold grudge even against yourself. The world needs more compassion, that you are a part of the world. Thank you.
Okay, I'm gonna say thank you to everybody, and until either a few Wednesdays from now or the next podcast, or the next whenever. I wish everybody a safe and productive week, and to stay happy.
Recording stopped.